Guys.
Prediction? Yes, prediction.
Are you ready? I was born ready.
Obviously, you're a little, aggravated by the line of questioning regarding Canelo.
I don't want to touch this, dirty, so bad. I don't want to touch his name.
Oye,
I'm working on
esto sigue. No paramos.
And I miss him.
Vivo.
Sometimes I feel
Siempre.
I don't want that person to come out because when he comes out, hell is coming with him. And it's not funny at all. It must sound cool, like I'm a tough guy. It's just I hate that I'm scared.
It would be awesome to, be being a great war. Maybe with a Mexican. I have to put the dose.
No. Hey, thank you. Perfect. Fair play, man. I appreciate it. Good timing.
Can't put predictions, man, but I definitely don't want to leave it to the judges.
¡Guapa! Y seguimos a fuego y sin extinguidor. Ladies and gentlemen, we are Long Live Boxing and Vivo podcast with Manny Marrero.
Sean El Gringo Hicksa.
Allergy Hopper.
Allergy Hopper.
Oh, yeah.
No scream today, ladies and gentlemen. Always breaking it down like it is, like it should be. Talking boxing and always fighting. And the reason I want to mention to you guys, always fighting, is you can see my shirt right here. Always fighting. Ladies and gentlemen, this is in honor to the great one. Short career, unfortunately. Prichard Colón. Prichard Colón, if you guys know, finished up his career at 17 fights, 16 and 1 lost. Unfortunately, last lost was against William in the 9th round. It appeared that he took a couple of shots in the back of the head, kind of warned the referee about it. There were shots in the head, and unfortunately, he was not able to fight again. Got disqualified, and everything after that, it kind of went down south. He is pretty much surviving and still fighting the battle. Had a couple of surgeries, and medical bills are increasing. So his family came up with this shirt. Always fighting. You can get that shirt. It's only $20, and we'll put the link out here. We'll put the link out here for you guys to,
good stuff, man.
We'll make sure to include the link in the video. Thank you so much for
this is a good career.
that.
This is good. He actually just turned 29 years old. Mom is so attached to him. I follow them every single day. I look forward to see their videos every day. His recovery. It's amazing how a guy can completely be dead, and all of a sudden he's still got the energy and the movements. Like he wants to fight. Like he had it. Like he's so good with what happened right now and the attention he's getting, the love he's getting from Mark Anthony, Trinidad, all the legends in the boxing world and all the Hollywood stars are actually plugging into and, praying and embracing for his recovery. Never back to the boxing, but at least recover to be, to be kind of normal again and have a normal, steady life. So we wish you the best. We love you, Prichard. Mom, you are a super Wonder Woman, Mom. We admire you.
Absolutely. Well said. Much love and much respect, Prichard Colón. We've got much love for you and your family, and continue the fight. And Mama, we love you. And the fight doesn't stop. Always fighting.
That's right.
Thank you, Manny.
Always
that.
fighting. Always fighting.
Great way. And that's a great statement and a great moniker to have. And I'm gonna go ahead and say it, guys. Man, we've been duped. Speaking of always fighting, what about always changing the date of the fight?
My God.
What about that?
How many times is it right now, Gringo? 6? We're talking about it?
7.
7 times. Change the date.
Change the date.
I'm not want to fight. I don't want to fight. IBF is in the middle. They want to put a mandatory, which is fine. All of a sudden, COVID just kind of messes things up, and then the fight's not going to be in Australia anymore. Then it's going to be in New York. Then they put it on a weekend where, hey guys, October. This is October for baseball. Is huge. It's where you have, all the wild card playoffs, and especially the Boston Red Sox and the Yankees are going to make it. Ladies and gentlemen, we're talking about
the NFL.
Yeah, the NFL too. That's the thing.
We got to realize. We don't want to get all preachy here because, we're brothers and we talk about the good stuff, but this is beyond idiotic at this point. What are we doing here? And we're talking about, for those that maybe are casuals, not familiar, Teófimo López and his fake over, because it's not a takeover.
It's a fake over. I like that one.
He promised us that, he was going to take over boxing. Him and his loudmouth ass dad. They're gonna beat Lomachenko, even though they're not going to give him a rematch. Don't get me started on that. All they want to do is talk. And thank God he has a mandatory, because the guys at 135 just want to sit around, want to make up reasons, go up, go down, not fight one another. I'm not mad at them anymore, though. I'm sure they're all great guys. I'm mad at myself for getting sucked into this fake over. Well, I really thought, this is the new wave. This is the coming of the young fighters that are gonna, bring the entertainment, exciting back to boxing. These 4 guys at 135, Ryan Garcia, Devin Haney, Tank Davis. People comparing them. Today, even my uncle compared him to a small miniature bite-sized Mike Tyson. Like, what the hell? And these guys don't want to smoke. But then at the head of the table, the fake over, the leader of the fake over, right? I mean, look, I'm sure he's a great guy, but yeah, he's been a great disappointment.
I mean, he is. He's very talented. And, I wish you guys would go back. If you're listening to us, go back podcast. I can't remember. We're, ladies and gentlemen, this is 99. We'll be in 100 soon. And we're going to be celebrating big. But my point is, if you go back in the days, I said Teofimo can be the worst nightmare for the 135. And I think as a fan, I think it is. I mean, the lightweight division, first of all, it's one of my favorites. Second is we were born with the lightweight division. I mean, Loma as a champion, Richard Comey at that time, all these other, Linares, and, looking forward to all the ones that Sean mentioned, that new wave kind of popping in. And then all of a sudden we're trying to brainstorm to see what's going to happen next. Who's going to fight, who's going to fight who? Is it really going to be a takeover? Is it not? Is he going to give a show? And honestly, I think it is selfish. I think he wants, nothing to do in the 135. He's thinking about, he hasn't eaten his food. He's got in his plate, right? And he's already thinking about what am I going to eat later on. And Sean, I'm sorry, I'm not trying to bring that to you, food in our show. But that's the reality. He's trying to go up north and thinking about what he wants to Josh Taylor, but he's got a very tough opponent that he's been left behind ever since the IBF mandated, George Kambosos as the number 1 challenger. You either take him or you strip up the title. And of course, we know for a fact that he wants to be undisputed. He calls himself undisputed. He's not. He's not undisputed. He hasn't beaten the paper champion, Devin Haney. And he promised us that was going to happen. And I think at this time, I get COVID. I get the fact that here comes another huge company and tries to come into the boxing world and starts bidding crazy amount of money, and that is Thriller. And what they're bringing into the public at the beginning, it was, okay, this is different, this is pretty cool, but honestly, lately, it hasn't been all that. And I really don't think that the fans are here just to pay for exhibitions. I don't think the fans are here to pay a pay-per-view just to see a show. The boxing fans wants to see boxing. You can bring an artist here every now and then. I don't think that a lot of boxers are agreeing with the fact that it's a whole party craziness show in there, smoking and doing all kinds, which I have nothing wrong with that. I really don't. But there are a lot of fans who are not happy with that. So is it going to be the same? Is it Thriller looking really good? Is it Thriller damaging some of these potential fights that, now you can't fight it? I get it. COVID, you can't bypass that. But the fact that you can't get a venue and set it up and you have to now keep moving it around because you didn't think about, October, Major League, you didn't think about college football, you didn't think about, NFL football as well. And so now you got the fans what about those fans who purchased the tickets for the first time? All right.
Oh, man.
Or the airfare. What do you think about? Do you see what I'm saying? This is a negative ripple effect. I'm speaking and I'm getting pretty upset. And I didn't buy any tickets. I had no plans at all to attend the fight. I really wanted to go, but can you imagine spending all that money and all of a sudden? It's okay. You can move it in a day to the same venue. Airfare, you can probably change it cheaper. The hotel, if you got the hotel, it's still in that same place. but now you're moving it again to Brooklyn.
Wow.
And then changing the date as of yesterday. I mean, this is not looking good. And the frustrating part of it is, like, you know, we wanted to see the best fighters at this division. We wanted to see some fights being made up. And when you have the title strapped into one person, maybe two, because that's Devin Haney, WBC, it just, everything else is just pretty much nonsense. And I get it, you know, as a Lomachenko fan, I definitely would like, it interests me, even though if I'm not a Lomachenko fan, it interests me to see a rematch for whatever reason it is. No excuses, but a rematch will give the public, right, what they want. Action, rematch, possibility, I'll pay the money. But for me, this is a shit show that I don't understand how far it's going to get.
Well said, man. I mean, obviously things have fallen apart, but let's take it back to the beginning and, you know, let's talk about how we got to this point. There was a purse bid that was done by, you know, Triller, and they won the purse bid for $6.5 million. Now,
that's a lot of fucking money for like, okay, I get it. Two good boxers, not at the elite level where you pay. I mean, you would pay $6 million to do Wilder, Fury, and Tyson, Wilder and Fury, right?
Right. So, this is where I think that the mistake was made twofold. One, people forget that originally Teofimo López and Kambosos were not supposed to be the main event. They were supposed to be the undercard to, at the time, you know, granted that fell apart, you know, Triller doing Triller things, was Mike Tyson, Holyfield, I believe, was the fight. And then Mike Tyson wanted nothing to do with Triller. And, you know, that eventually dissolved and didn't work out. And before that, though, when, you know, Mike Tyson was still on board, Teofimo López wanted nothing to do with that. He wanted his own card. He didn't want to be on the undercard of, you know, anybody, even Mike Tyson, which, you know, how dare he, right?
Yeah.
So
that didn't sit well.
Remember, that was the big thing. They drew the line and Teofimo crossed it. You know, and I get that. He's trying to protect his investment, which is himself and his body. And then they had another opportunity where they were saying, well, we really want to have the fight, you know, because you have to be realistic with yourself. If you're really trying to be a businessman, as he states, him and his father say, you make more money in Australia with a crowd, with Kambosos. He's a star over there, right? You got to take advantage of that. But no,
Sean, that's a good point. Sorry to interrupt you. And that's a really good point, because if you fans don't know George Kambosos, you're probably thinking, oh, who's that? He came out of nowhere. George Kambosos, it's like the cash cow in Australia.
No, he's a cash cow.
Like, he's a cash cow in Australia. He came to the States to get opportunities, not money, to get opportunities for big fights. And that's where he...
Right. Yeah.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, not at all. This was his opportunity to do, you know, a crossover event. But he understands that, and when he talks, I think he gets it more than, you know, Teofimo and Team, you know, Fakeover get. That the opportunity was there for them to get their money, you know, for whatever reason. I guess, you know, if you feel you're going to do the Fakeover, you're going to beat whoever, you know, and a Kambosos, who's, you know, not a power puncher. He has a good right hand, but there's no real threat to actually knock you out. So are you that concerned about taking a fight? If you're the man, you just beat Lomachenko, you're not going to fight Kambosos in Australia. So on that part, hey, he can throw whatever fit he wants. That was a mistake, again, by Triller to not draw their line in the sand. Like,
correct.
Look, you didn't want to be on the undercard for a legend, plural. You know, you want to be a baby. At least go to this guy's homeland where we can get our money back. But they keep changing the date every day to the point where no one cares. And to me, because again, he does seem like a nice person. I have no issue with him. But how the situation has been handled or mishandled is because they're coddling him, right? And they don't know what they're doing. And, you know, we were, you know, collectively excited. I know they had, David Kahn, right? He was over the CEO for a while.
Peter Kahn.
Thank you. Peter Kahn
was actually no longer associated.
Yeah, he stepped down. Right, we were excited. You know,
absolutely,
great boxing mind,
one of the best managers in the sport.
Right, he recognized that this is not where it's at.
It's a shit show.
Yeah, shit show.
But here's the deal. We talk about Thriller. Yeah, I don't know where we're heading with Thriller. And I think eventually, probably nowhere. But here's the thing, guys. We already saw this coming. And you guys know it. You guys were really defensive when we were speaking about how Teofimo Lopez was demanding more money, regardless if it was $1 or $800,000. That's the start of someone wanting or needing or deserve more, and this is who I am. And now that he's a champion, he's making all these kind of demands where honestly, I never saw that good at the beginning. The sport was hurting at that time. I get it that Bob has made millions of dollars. He doesn't have to take out of his own money to pay them. And if his business was struggling at that time and he said, I can't pay you this amount, I will pay this one, and this is what it is. That's it. But you know what? Nowadays, you left it to a bid. Thrill is playing him more. He's going to get used to that, and that's going to continue some future issues in where right now, the only person that I feel like has moved on and it's doing a lot better than anyone else from all the 4 divas we talked about back in that episode, and that is my friend, Gervonta Davis. He had moved on. He had moved on from these people. He went up to do other things, and I don't think he'll ever come back. And he's the only guy that is in a good position right now.
I mean, my frustration, lies across the board, with boxing in general, because there seems to be a lack of the big fights being made. So I don't want to make it seem like it's just, bashing Teofimo Lopez. It's just,
and we're not. I mean, he's demanding. Yeah,
how this kind of fell apart.
I get it.
And I was excited. And yeah, to your point, when we had that show, we were talking about, because we just wanted that fight so bad. It's easy for us to say like, hey man, just take the the money they're going to give you and figure it out. But to your point,
hey, Gringo, you were going to do a loan, right?
Yeah. To your point, you kept alluding to this is not just the fact of the amount, but it's the behavior you had issue with. And
exactly.
You said this could potentially lead to a trend, and this may just be a glimpse of who he actually is. And he's like he keeps reminding everybody, his age. He's 23. He was 24 now. And he's got to think about his body, his investment, his family. So he's going to try to get the most money and, take the most of his opportunities. So, he's going to do what's best for him ultimately. But as a fan, as a consumer, fights are just being made. And, I don't really see Triller being, too much more involved. I mean, to me, they're really just an entertainment entity platform. And,
and it's backed up by a lot of people, and I'm sure it's got a lot of, funds available to them. And, they made pretty good money when they did, the first Tyson and, the return of Tyson. I think that even surpassed a lot of, what is it, 1.5 million or something like that?
Right.
And then they came back and did another couple of the fights, and then Logan Paul actually also fought there. I mean, they picked up a lot. But the reality is I don't see them keeping this trend, and I think that this bid right now, if I was someone as a CEO or someone that it's looking to invest and bring, best possible fights to get the most of the revenue, I think $6 million for this specific fight. It was too much. And I don't blame, we're not blaming Teofimo, and I get it. I respect him, what he's able to accomplish, and he is entitled to ask. If you ask, you shall receive. If you don't ask, you ain't going to get nothing. But I think at some point, you have to tone it down and settle down a little bit. Don't let the ego of who you are or who you feel you're, how good of a talented boxer you are, because he really is. He could be the takeover, but right now, we're not seeing that. And then all of a sudden, you want one fight against mandatory, and then you want one fight to get all the belts in 140. How easy that is. I mean, why don't you stay at 135? Why don't you really undisputed and fight Devin Haney? That's the fight that, honestly, and I'm hoping that that's what we'll see after he fights Camboso. I don't want to see him go up the 140s. I want to really see him dominate and give us, that excitement at the 135. So it's not like to gain my confidence as a fan. I mean, I know how talented he is, but I wanted him to continue to show and prove, hey, it was just not a one-shot thing. Couple fights, 135, go 140. What are you going to do later? You want to challenge then the 147? Whoever's undisputed at that time, if there's anyone? I mean, come on. You got to work your way up. One shot, that's like hitting the lotto. It just doesn't work for me as a fan. And I'll be frustrated.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely beyond frustrated. I mean, to me, I guess because my desperation as a fan to see quality fights, if he really, I mean, if he's willing to do all this and it's going to lead us to get to, I mean, provided that he wins, Kambosos not easy. Even though a lot of people think he's just going to run over Kambosos, but Lee Kambosos, obviously the mandatory for a reason, 19-0,
right.
27, 5'9", orthodox fighter. He actually has some quality win. Lee Selsby,
that last
Mickey
fight
Bay.
of Lee Seyfel,
yeah. So
absolutely.
There's nothing. There's nothing as far as, and then also too. I mean, he was. We don't want to overstate the fact or understate. He was a sparring partner for Manny Pacquiao.
Correct.
They did 250 rounds.
Mm-hmm.
So there's definitely something there. And then of course,
the stable they got.
His corner. He's getting great work in Davie, Florida, with Coach Centeno. He's getting great mentorship there. So definitely, it's all kind of coming together. From the standpoint of, and just imagine how tough that is if your camp keeps getting pushed and delayed and pushed back and move forward.
And that mentally drains you. That mentally just offset you because remember, you have a rhythm of when you got the fight and you have a certain days where you need rest, certain days that you need to eat, healthy or whatever it is. And then all of a sudden they move you out from that rhythm, and now you got to go into another, another type of, I was going to say cycle. Another type of cycle in where your body is going to be adapted different, and it shows that, and it's proven that anytime that happens, boxers are not the same. Nope. They're not completely the same. And I remember back in the days that fight should have never been made. But Bernard Hopkins and Tito Trinidad, that fight was supposed to happen the weekend of September 11. September 11 came out, and that fight had to be postponed. That rhythm both fighters had, especially Tito at that time, plus he had another issues of dealing out throughout those times, but still, that offsets the boxer. And then all of a sudden, you're trained to be at a specific level, and things get moved on 5, 6, 7, 8 times. And let me tell you something. I don't think we talk predictions or anything like that, but I can guarantee you there are a lot of fans, boxing fans out there who are looking for that new date, right? Which it actually changed again, and I believe that's going to be now on the 16th of October, Barclays Center in Brooklyn. I can guarantee you there are going to be a lot of people waiting to the world to be shocked and rooting for Kambosos because of that same thing, the same behavior that is happening pre-fights, pre-made fights, and things of that. I don't think it's sitting well. I see as a very talented guy that can have possibilities in the future, and I think we talked over and over about that, but to be honest, you got a lot of pissed off people right here, and I think a lot of people are going to rooting against Teofimo Lopez. October 16, hopefully they don't change it. You think they might change it?
I mean, they don't fight by November, then he's got to.
I mean, even they said that the fight was called off. They weren't going to fight at all, and then all of a sudden they made it happen. I mean, it's just a lot, and I wish we know all the nuances and things that happen behind the scenes. We don't know anything about that, and that's what really frustrates us because we as fans also make plans. And I talked about
definitely.
You know what I mean?
No, definitely. So I gotta, get the word of Allergy Hopper. I know he's fighting through some stuff, and we got much love for you, brother.
He barely can speak right now.
I'm enjoying the banter with you guys have, though, man. You guys got some great stuff, man. I'm super congested.
So I just want to know real quick as far as, and you can keep it short and brief. I mean, Allergy Hopper's a man of few words, but his words are very powerful.
Indeed.
So honestly, brother, are we being too harsh on, Teofimo Lopez? Do you think that, the things we're saying are valid as far as us being frustrated? Do you think he's the root cause, or he's just a part of the machine?
No, you guys have valid points, man. It's definitely once you beat somebody like Lomachenko, of course it's gonna go to your head. Of course.
Heck yeah.
If I beat Lomachenko, bro, I'm a motherfucking man. I don't care where I'm at. Everywhere. You buy me a drink everywhere I go, you better get it for free. No, but seriously,
to be the king, you got to beat the king. And he beat the king.
You get a win like that over Lomachenko. It's gonna mess. I don't care who you are. It's gonna mess with your ego, with your psyche, and
I still believe.
Man, he's drinking Ukraine. He's got half Ukraine, half Puerto Rico. But
I still believe.
There are a lot of things. There's a lot of things I agree on. Teofimo Lopez moving. He didn't want to move from October 4th to October 16th because it does mess with the training camp. They're on the schedule. They have everything already fine combed and nitpicked, ready for the fight. So It's just a variety. Can we? The only thing I want, can we watch the damn fight already?
I know.
Shit, man.
I know. I'm ready. I'm ready to like move on from this like chapter of this soap opera and then enter into another season to see who the heck he's going to fight if he's able to, beat George Kambosos October 16th.
Yeah, I mean, and thank you, Algie Hopper, for that. Appreciate it. I know you're grinding, brother. But like, I'm right there with you. I just want to see the fight at this point. A lot of times when I'm saying I'm frustrated fighter, or I don't know these guys. I'm just a fan. I want to see the fight. I want to see all the fights. And there's so much talent out there. And that's where the frustration lies. And, you get sucked in. And that's where my belief, going back to my brother Manny's point, where I figured, okay, I know there's maneuvering. Guys don't want to fight. They're under different banners. But I figured that 135 was so deep.
Yes.
We were just by default going to get fights. But
we even spoke about a tournament, all four of them. We were like so hyped up, so many possibilities. How many have we seen? None of them.
We've seen none of it. But, it is what it is. Shout out to Coach Centeno. And, I know it's not easy. You're going back and forth. And, for everybody involved, look, it's nothing personal. We're fight fans, man. We just want to see this freaking fight. And for Triller, hey, man, you tried and you failed. I do it all the time. I'm half man, half disappointment. But I want to say this before we sign off here. We got Algie Hopper barely hanging on. We've gotten such great support, and actually had some time to reflect. And it's been an amazing journey, man. Not to sound like half man, half cornball, but I've really enjoyed doing this podcast with my brothers. And what I've learned, recently, how boxing Twitter and how toxic it is, and how a lot of people turn things around and they make it racial, and they intently, look how they're talking about us, or, we should be mad about that. We're just here, we're all different. We're just sitting here talking boxing. And yeah, do we get along? Clearly not. There's a lot of things we definitely don't agree on.
Oh, really?
But, we get over that, and we try to at least, and we make the most of it, and we talk about something that we love and we're passionate about. And it's the best thing ever. So, hey, you guys can keep toxic Twitter, getting mad about who's on whose show.
And it's not about trying to,
all that stuff is trash, man. And, that's fine. If that's what you want to do, live your life, live your life. Life's way too short for that.
I agree.
And I want to send a shout out to, our sponsors and supporters. Esmeralda, big shout out. She's always, giving us shouts out.
Fotógrafa de la gente.
Man, she's doing her thing, man. Make sure you follow her on all social media platforms. Also to Tommy.
Tommy Boy. Standing A Podcast.
And Boss So Hard Barbecue. Man, the best brisket possible.
Oof.
It's actually better the second day. I don't know how he does it. Probably MSG.
MSG.
No, that's a bad rumor. Sorry. No, it's delicious. So, but no, seriously.
He puts thank you guys so much.
Clenbuterol.
Oh, wow.
Is that what Canelo had?
Oh man.
Whoa.
So it's been
the Reynoso's Taquitos
a great ride. And the reason why I'm talking so much is because there's a great possibility. There's a great possibility that episode 100, I won't be talking at all. So, I want to make sure to, run my mouth while I can. Also, big shout out to, all the people that have supported us, and even the people that are, indifferent, and question, why don't you guys give up already? We're not going to. This is the new norm, right? You guys can keep your race baiting and your banter going
shock jock.
Yeah, and
don't get close to me. I'll slap you. Slap you.
Yeah, keep all that. Keep all.
But also, Sean, I want to add someone special. It's been a support and it's been true guidance into this whole podcast world as we're reaching to 100. Spider MZ Studio here in Dallas. They've been phenomenal.
Much love,
working with us in difficult times. They've been guiding us, teaching us. Spider, what? We're one of the fews, right? That we're going to be reaching 100.
That's right.
Don't worry, we won't quit on you. But I think that that's huge, because when you enter this, this whole world of the podcast is, and you're not really knowing what to do with certain things. These guys have guided us, and this is the reason why you can listen to us anywhere you upload your favorite podcast. We're there, trying our best.
Absolutely,
to bring contact to you guys.
No, well said, man. And we're not above feedback or comments or commentary to help, make the product and content better. We're, striving hard to make it even better and, onward and upward. So we're going to hit with our next show 100. And then our goal from there is to hit 200 and keep going. So definitely thank you so much. I also want to special shout out to Astara Blackwood. I promised her for like a year. I say her name and there.
Astara, we love you, girl.
We love you, mommy.
I know. Thank you for the support. Thank you, everyone. This is podcast number 99. Stay tuned. We got a lot of stuff for podcast 100.
It's coming.
But until then, we will always keep fighting.
Keep fighting.
Hasta luego.
Fuera.
Vivo.